Ladies and gentlemen, this game's gonna be a little bit different. In the blue color, we have not one player, but two players. One of them is called Farewell. The other one is Laventus. I'm sure you know Laventus, aka Levatus. Good guy, good guy. Good to see him back, if it's indeed him. The color matches in the name, so I assume so. On the other side, we've got Astro HD playing as the Orcs. Yeah, a long time since we've seen Levatus. I'm not sure if he's controlling, like, the army or just everything is shared, or I don't know what the setup of this game is. But yeah, playing Wolfguard Commander humans here is very, very standard, and actually this mechanic of sharing a faction and, you know, distributing the different things about the faction is a really good way to teach your friends how to play. So, you know, you got a friend, you get them to download SpellForce Free Versus Edition on either Steam or Epic or whatever you want. It's on any PC store basically, and yeah, like I said, it's free. They pick their starting faction. It's elves, orcs, or humans, and then you can babysit them, play skirmish together, comp stomp. But it's definitely a good idea to start off like this, just controlling the same one faction together and showing them the ropes like this. Now let's see if together with Levatus they can defeat Astro HD or not. It really depends how much control Levatus has, right? Like, he's a giga top player, he's played in so many tournaments, performed so very well, actually won an entire season of the Meta Plays League. So yeah, pretty big deal. You should check those out, by the way, if you ever want more SpellForce. You haven't seen those yet. They're not on my channel, they're on the Meta Plays channel, although that's also my channel, so. Anyway, Scoundrel, double harassment. Early on in this game, once again, we've got the classic Astro HD early second hunting cabin. This is something that he just does, apparently. Looks like the Humi Scout has distracted a lot of the undead. So they might actually be able to deny this flag from coming up. Astro HD is in the negative resources after all. But a little bit of damage is being done to the Stonecutter workers. However, the infantryman coming out to fix things, looks like will be fixing things, doesn't get the actual kill against the Scoundrel. But if another attack comes through, that would very quickly change. And yeah, as predicted, the undead actually do take down that flag, forcing the occultist to eventually just come back. Now that's awkward. We got the Wolfguard Commander is essentially gonna be one flag up. That's a pretty big deal. Yumi's getting an extra sector there, could be quite meaningful. There's even more Scoundrel coming in, so it's gonna be protected. The base is gonna be protected by two infantrymen. And it looks like the hero is going to the other side of the map now. Infantryman might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure if Astro HD actually picked Nullify already. Yes. So you can keep pulling these weak units right into the middle of combat. Get a surround on them with Scoundrel. It's very difficult in SpellForce to get a full surround because the units are very slippery. And heavy units end up actually pushing light ones out of the way. So light units cannot surround a heavy unit, as the heavy will just push through. A hero counts as quite heavy, so they can just push out of any obstacle, really. And so can things like trolls. Anyway, Medusa. We are going after them. Astro HD is, at least. And having a pretty good start with that. The Wolfguard Commander is just apparently not going to care about this. The infantrymen are around, but the most important thing will be to get this royal flag up and upgraded. Wolfguard Commander will have to spend a bunch of the potions on just surviving here, basically. But it's certainly doable. Already bought time for the flag to upgrade nearly halfway. And by the time the second Medusa is dead, this will be up. Or something like that. Oh, a bit of damage spreading. Interesting to see that. And one of the infantrymen does end up going down. Ooh, that should be a great kill on the Vork. Very nicely done. Yeah, level 4 is achieved. The Medusas are down. Another infantryman dies, however, so yeah, Fairvalor and Levant is definitely paying for this, and now the orcs are coming in. They're not going to be able to do too much about this. Putting the barracks here is very interesting. This is a heavily contested base, of course, going forward from here. And losing the barracks will be a bit of a disaster for the human pair. Astro HD is floating currently a lot of food, which will probably mean that we'll see tons and tons of war getting pumped out, but not just yet. Yeah, 0 production at the moment, so it might be just more base upgrades coming in, but not even that. At the moment, Astro HD is just kind of chilling. There's a bit of production, Scoundrel. That could have also been base upgrades in tier 2. It's pretty difficult for the Humies to deal with an orc that is in tier 2 and is pumping out all sorts of stuff. That's a very interesting billet placement. What it does is provide a little bit of line of sight. So you can put one here, you can put one here, and this is no longer an entry point for base snipes. Because it gives at least a little bit of a warning about such a thing. So maybe this time around we might get to see a run by targeting the main. Obviously it's capital destruction victory condition, right? Which means you lose the capital, you lose the game. Very important to keep an eye on that, and Humies have a special advantage with the billets. Not every faction has something like that. The trolls could do it, but it's way more expensive for them. The billets, pretty cheap. Lots of units flooding in from Astro HD's side of the map. No upgrades to the Karak just yet, but certainly has the resources. And as I say, he's starting a little bit of multi-prong harassment, or looking for workers at least, even if not really following it up. Some of these sectors could be upgraded, arguably, or maybe Astro HD will choose to pump out even more units. Anyway, the infantrymen are fighting off the Scoundrel. So no more harassment damage on this front at least, but they're in the main as well, hurting the stone. Fortunately for Fairvalor and the Ventus, they have 23 stone at this moment. Town center upgrade is going to be pretty far away, as the Humies have to establish themselves now. But I like for the Humies at this point, especially against an occultist player, who can do a lot of heavy bleeding against jumbled up infantry armies. What I'd recommend is actually just go ranged, and that way you can at least somewhat avoid him. Yeah, especially if you got a big spread. But if you do that, the hunters are just kind of equally potent for population. So that could be quite problematic. Some nice takedowns here, and the Wolfguard commander has her dress, which is her tier 3 armor. Very fancy. Very heavy armor. 100 potions still available. Great multi-pronged harassment, by the way, from Astro HD. I believe he's a relatively recent addition to the multiplayer crew, but has been performing pretty good. By the way, anyone notice the outhouse on the barracks? I'm just saying. It's... yeah. I mean, people just sometimes need to go. A billet? Out here? No way, dude. This sector is bigger than I sometimes realize. Well, it's not gonna happen very easily. Obviously, the Scoundrel are gonna have something to say about this, especially considering they're right there right now. Still, harassment crew cleanup is happening. Tons of Scoundrel have been around, the infantrymen doing a good job cleaning it up, however. Yeah, like I said, that wasn't gonna happen, and all the workers now coming up to pick up the lost resources are just gonna run to their deaths. As you can't actually give them commands, you can recall the entire crew, but you can't give individual orders. Now, yeah, the occult is a little bit too strong. He's got his tier 2 armor, by the way, and his crown as well, helping him regenerate. Finally, the Humi units are coming in to help out. There'll be tons of infantrymen, but no significant arbalist count just yet. Again, arbalists can be problematic because also Scoundrel have the pierce resistance, right? So they can just jump on top of them. And that is a situation where surrounds do matter. Scoundrel numbers being high against high number of arbalists, yeah, you can surround the arbalists. And then in tier 2 you get some hunters behind that. Speaking of hunters, his hunting cabin getting absolutely wrecked, reducing the human food income some more. Tier 2's coming in, however. That was the last infantryman being produced from here. And for whatever reason... Oh wait, these guys aren't whacking the cart anymore in the middle. They're actually whacking the building now. That's good. That makes sense. But you see, normally there's like a cart in there. And they just hammer that thing like all day. It's hilarious. Lots of Gobo takedowns. Unfortunate that the Wolfguard commander isn't nearby. She'd be earning so much experience, but I guess she did so here as well. Now the Occultist is having to chase this down, and that might be enough infantrymen to actually threaten this fortified outpost. You know, by 12 minutes you really expect there to be hunters, so a bit of a mistimed event on Astro HD's side. Also, if none of these are actually making hunters right now, that will be very disappointing. Might actually just go down. So how much of the driving is Levatus actually doing? I'm really curious about this. So good to see him playing again, though. I thought he retired. I even said in a response to a YouTube commenter. But hey, if he's back, that's sick. We need these guys to show people how to play. Anyway, it's not that difficult to play SpellForce. You can, of course, to play as well as Levatus, that's difficult. Or Don Hyperion or Galactico, these guys, very, very solid players. But it's not that difficult to play multiplayer, right? There's a lot of new guys around, like Astro HD. Always people trying to fix that. There's people coming back. So I think we got a little bit of a scene here. That's a lot of dead Gobos. Very problematic. The Wolfguard Commander Leecher's level 5 doesn't have focus right this moment, but I'm sure would have loved to do an Earth Shadow right there. Only now has been picked though. Yeah, well, the Humies now have the sector. They cut off the orcs from pretty much every angle. And although the Gobos are trying a little bit of multi-pronged harass, I guess that's gonna be that. Really hard to see them coming back into this, although the hunters can always surprise people, you know. The orcs have lost just one of these bases, but at the same time, you know, the places the Humies cut into were very strategically thought out. These are all iron bases, and now the orcs only have these two. Granted, that's a lot of iron mines, but will it last? Will it last? This billet is MVP. Need one here. Although we're not in a rush with that. Levatus and Farewell don't have a lot of population just yet. Yeah, you know, fortified outposts, handful hunters. Occult is making everybody bleed. I think that works out pretty good. Well, that's a lot of infantrymen. They don't have their tier 2 upgrades yet. Once this reaches level 5, might be able to actually save this base with a little bit of luck. Oh, it's repairing. He's really trying. Astro HD, can you do it? Oh, the bleeding is really good. And he blew up all that blood on them. Fortified outpost still does fall, however. That is very unfortunate, as he was nearly done with the cleanup crew. So many infantrymen died for this. I'm not even sure that was worth it. Although definitely annoying for Astro HD. Needs to activate that blood like tar to actually slow the enemies. Then he can start chasing them. That's one of the most powerful things about the occultist. You just activate this thing, you pull in the hero, then the hero is slowed. You just keep your hero following. That was a really nice counter to the knockdown as well, but yeah, it looks like the occultist will be dead now, thanks to all the arbalists and infantrymen sniping him when he's the weakest. Still, that's a good number of hunters. They're able to push the Wolfguard commander away. She no longer has any potions and should be going down as a result. Only 66 health, but the infantrymen kind of stand their own against the goblins, that's for sure. They have a little bit of pierce armor, so they can hold against the hunters for a while. But the hero finally gets sniped. This is a pretty even deal. But the unit printing for the humans has been absolutely bonkers compared to that of the orcs. The orcs should be ahead in the unit pumping game, not the humies. But hey, humies doing not bad. Not bad at all. Well, territory gameplay, ladies and gentlemen. We've got this upgrading. Might be powerful enough to resist the infantrymen going forward. They're going back into their own territory to not only link up with the hero and allow for teleportation, which could actually threaten the main base, but also they are in their own territory now, so that will provide faster regeneration. This billet is also there for scouting, I feel. Should cover this spot just in case. Anywho, Humi's ready to go. A little bit of shopping action is happening for potions. Nothing too crazy. The occultist is back. No shopping there as far as I can tell. Although maybe there's a shielding amulet now. And no gold. Tons of potions. Okay, there was a shopping run over there as well. Important to point out about the orcs as well that there has been no upgrades of any kind except the food income, which is granted a very important upgrade. But what you really want is the SRHD is the blood forge, which we don't have one of. Once again, a very outside billet looking to scout. It's gonna receive a little bit of repairs. And we also have a support garrison, which might be used for catapults here. We'll see. Anyway, don't want to miss this. Oof, good Earth Shatter. Hits a lot of the gobos, and there's not a whole lot of orc population available right this moment. But also, you know what, all that bleeding from the occultist causing these infantrymen to get very low, and as they clump up around him, all of them start bleeding. And, you know, long term this is not healthy for them, as you can tell. This Sanguine Burst ability, it comes off cooldown so fast. It does so much AoE damage. The orcs have absolutely no problem matching the humans in tier 2 with this. Even with a army that's a little bit small, admittedly, but you know, you go in the middle there. Delete 4 or 5 units at the same time every time. It adds up. It really does add up, but the printing just continues. Honestly, it must be Levato's driving a lot of the macro management. And I'm loving the billet business, especially. That is just... they provide so much vision. Look at this. This is their perspective. They can see pretty much everything. There's gonna be a watchtower at the edge of the sector too. What is going on? I wonder how much that is going to give in terms of vision. Oh, also very important, there's these watchtowers, right? This watchtower, not owned by anybody. This one, if you look at Levatus's view, it gives line of sight over this entire thing. So definitely worth it leaving a single infantryman behind or something like that. They are now upgraded with warhammers, so they're dealing 75 damage instead of 60. Pretty big upgrade. Alright, the tower's about to be done. So they can see even more. And even better. Oh, that's some good line of sight right there. Big blob on the map. More. Give me more. Oh, that's gonna be disgusting. Oh, man. Yep, like I said, every time 4 or 5 kills like that, it really adds up. Where did these pastors come from? What? Excuse me? Okay, the pastors, they really need their oiling upgrades, so by themselves they don't do a whole lot. You can add drummers to them to boost them a little bit, which is good. Of course, the occultist has abilities to boost damage. Zarek's champion, it deals some damage to friendly units that are affected by it, but it also gives you a 35% attack increase. Now you combine that with your drummers, which are here now, which also give an empower of 30%. Make that 65. The drummers also provide the healing. So the damage component suddenly doesn't do all that much. And you know, that skill has a level 2 as well. At which point it becomes 46. And you can increase that number with brute force further. So all of a sudden those goblin pesters, not too bad. Okay, there's gonna be a huge knockdown here from the Wolfguard commander. Very well done. Very good distribution on the infantrymen. They're all over the army. However, there's a big clump down here, which is exactly where the occultists went and should have gone anyway. But the infantrymen can just run away. This is their territory. They've killed all the scoundrel, which is going to provide a lot of experience for the Wolfguard commander. Already level 6.5. That's a lot. No tier 3. But hey, at least we've got scouting billets. They're truly the heroes of the game. Although they can't gain experience. Nice takedown on that catapult. A bit of a stray unit coming from the other side of the map, but that's what you get for trying to build in enemy territory. Looks like the shield upgrade is in. No. No, it's not. Where is the shield upgrade? It's coming. Soon TM. Lots of catapults are being made as well. Right now, none of them are alive. Astro HD still has a really good amount of units. Nice snipe on the hero. Might be able to turn this around still. The hunter number is growing. We're now up to 9. And tell you what, those drummers are still going as well. Maybe a little bit more scoundrel instead of pesters, and then you can convert all that into relevant building damage. No tier 3 for the orcs, of course. Although they do have a lot of resources, I think that should be just spent into scoundrel real quick to try to take down some bases. The Humies can put a stop to this still, of course. But always easier said than done, especially with the occultist at level 7. I'm sure he's got some high levels of brute force here, which makes his bleeding damages all the more scary. That was a great triple way split of the infantryman, by the way. And the Wolfguard commander teleports in to knock down everybody. Very well done with that too. Buys a lot of time for the infantryman to actually do some damage, but yeah, it looks like the occultist is about to go to town here, doing a lot of damage. Finally, a Sanguine Burst available again, and should be able to delete a lot of infantrymen with that. Oh, only actually does a little bit of work there. But lots of infantrymen are getting weak. This is still human territory, however, and it looks like it will stay that way, very much so. Doesn't quite get as many infantry kills as would have hoped for all that investment, right? The humans also have their shield up. I don't just mean this armored aura from the Wolfguard commander, I also mean the actual shield upgrade, which gives them more health by 175 extra. Pretty big increase. So the human infantryman is basically one of the best tier 1 units because you can keep using them for so long. Obviously in tier 3, once you have a big economy, they get outclassed super hard by champions. And that ends up being a replacement, but you know, champions, they cost iron. Iron runs out, and then you go back to infantrymen. At least for your front lines, you do get stuff out of tier 3. But none of the aria is currently getting harvested. But we do have the citadel. Market will take priority, but without aria, that's not happening. So the outpost will have to be upgraded again. Love this billet, it's hilarious. they're everywhere. These guys are the heroes of the game for sure. And we've got our first border fortress. All the corners of the world have been explored by billets officially. And the orcs have extremely precious little to show for themselves right now. Let's see if any upgrades have been queued up. There is a Blood Forge, but it didn't do anything all game. You know, with Vorg in the early game, you can really make them pay for themselves by getting Sharp Eyes. It's a super big upgrade, just like the Infantryman ones. Vorg is basically one of the better scout units for sure, that you can utilize for a really long amount of time. And also the end game, it's critical that you have the ability to use them once iron runs out a little bit. Although that's not the place the orcs want to be in. And for the humans as well, you don't really want that ultra late game. You have the market to offset your weaknesses a little bit. You can sell your resources to generate the tech resources basically, but do you really want to sell your food? Anyways, this fortified outpost is about to be deleted super hard by multiple catapults. The army can't hold their own against this many arbalists, and the hero and the infantrymen are about to go to town. Sure, a lot of them will die, but that's a price that our duo is more than willing to pay. No champions are required here. The Queen's troops do the job just fine. Kotus is toast, and with that base loss, I can't fault Astro for resigning whatsoever. That was very reasonable. And a great game by Farewell and Leventus. Welcome back to Laventus. That was great. Seems to not have aged at all. Performing nearly as good as he did in the tournaments already. So, yeah, looking forward to more. You guys join the Discord, send me replays, then I'll cast them. See you there.